And one of the most noted economists in the world, Dr. Art Laffer, wrote an article that was published in the Wall Street Journal last week that basically confirmed everything we had been saying. And I didn't pay him to do that. He did his own independent analysis and confirmed that 999 was something that is a strong plan and is pro-growth. This is how we get this economy going. Now, when we get the economy growing faster than it is now, which is almost nothing, they reported that last quarter it grew at 2.5%. That's better than the 1.5% from the previous quarter, but it's still a long way from the 10% that the Chinese economy is growing. And we've got to get that number up a lot more, and that's why we're going to be able to pass 999 within the first 90 days of my administration. At the same time we're doing that, we got to bring down costs. So if you got revenues going up, you got costs going down, guess what? We'll be able to present a balanced fiscal year budget, and if we present a balanced fiscal year budget, then we can stop adding to the national debt of $14 trillion. That's how you start to bring it down. And the national debt is what's killing our currency and all of the inflation that's messing up our currency. In 1988, when I was at Godfather's Pizza as president and CEO, the exchange rate for $1 US versus a Canadian dollar was, you needed $1.20 to get $1 US. Today, you need $1.20 to get $1 Canadian. What's wrong with that picture? What's wrong with that picture is that our money is losing its value, and the only way to reverse that is by bringing down the national debt, by passing balanced annual budgets such that we can begin to bring it down. And I believe that we can do that, because one of the things I'm going to do as president is across the board 10% cut of every federal agency with an executive order. 10% across the board. And that's just a start. That's just a start. Then in every agency, the newly appointed cabinet heads will have the responsibility of finding me another 10% by looking at various programs that need to be eliminated, that need to be phased out, shut down, or whatever the case may be. And when I give this message inside the Beltway, the skeptics will say, well, you know, it's not that easy to fire federal workers. Who said anything about firing federal workers? I'm going to give them a choice. Early retirement or reassignment. They said, well, why are you going to reassign them? I understand that there's an empty building in Nome, Alaska. It's their choice. Folks, we can do that. This is what businessmen do. You cut and you get rid of stuff that doesn't need to be there. And so all of the barriers, whether we're talking about illegal immigration, the approach is the same. I'll start out with, are we working on the right problem? And different from my opponents, I'm not going to throw everything, including the kitchen sink, in one great big bill that's going to confuse people. No. The 999 plan is a separate plan. It fits on a trifold. We're going to have the foreign policy plan, the whole approach on a trifold. Our approach to illegal immigration. Real simple. It's not one problem, it's four. We got to secure the border for real. We got to promote the path to citizenship that's already there. We got to enforce the laws that are already there. And here's the bold idea that people say that I'm being too bold. In order to enforce the laws that are already there and deal with the illegals that are already here, empower the states to do what they want to do with the illegal aliens that are already here. That's how we fix the problem. It's the approach that matters. You got to make sure you're working on the right problem. And sometimes the problem is problems, plural. And you got to know that. So that's how we're going to get these crises fixed, folks. Now here's what I need you to do to help make this happen, to take back the American dream. First, stay informed. There's a lot of garbage out there. There's a lot of false information out there. You've got to remain informed. If you read something that you're not quite sure of, go find a second source in order to stay properly informed. Because you see, stupid people are running America. And we got to outvote them. They are. I was criticized, why you shouldn't call people stupid. Why? They're stupid. They don't get it. You know? Secondly, stay involved. The fact that you're here today says that you're involved, that you care, that you are a patriot, and you're looking for leadership. You're looking for solutions and not more rhetoric about what we need to do. The American people, I just saw a survey the other day that said that approximately 76% of the American people feel that this nation is on the wrong track, and it is on the wrong track. And you're looking for somebody to help get it back on the right track. I don't claim to have all the answers, but I know what all of the problems are, and I have all of the questions. That's what leaders do. That's how I was able to succeed in business for over 40 years. Stay involved. Do what you can do. And as the great philosopher Emeril Lagasse says, kick it up a notch. Whatever you're doing, kick it up a notch. Because you see, if conservatives get out and vote and don't stay home, if the Christians and evangelicals get out and vote, if those independents and moderates in their right mind get out and vote, we win. We've got the numbers on our side. And that's why I encourage you to stay involved and get involved. Thirdly, stay inspired. I wouldn't be running if I didn't believe that we can take back our government. I wouldn't be running if I didn't believe that I'm going to get the Republican nomination to become president of the United States of America. I wouldn't be running because I am inspired on this journey, and you've got to believe that we can do this. Because it starts with believing that we can do this. How do you think the founding fathers started this country? Do you think they took a poll and everybody said yes? No. It took a few believers in the Declaration of Independence, a few believers in liberty, that they said we're going to create this new nation with this new model. And they did. But they had to believe it in order to make it happen. I wouldn't be running if I didn't believe it, folks. I ran into a gentleman at the airport last night when we were leaving, wherever we were leaving. I don't even know where we left last night. Where were we? Arkansas. Right next door. Had a great event over there. And a guy comes in and says, Mr. Cain, how are you? Nice to meet you. He said, there's talk that you're not in this to win it. I said, then they don't know me. And he said, well, then I'm going to send you some money. I said, now you're talking. I'm in it to win it, folks. And do you know that a few months ago, the experts thought that I was ready to shut this campaign down? See, they didn't know what you know and what I know. They discovered it at the Florida straw poll when we won by a 2-to-1 margin over Perry and Romney. Here's the message. Here's what some of them are finally figuring out. We already knew it because I've been traveling across this country, visiting states for over a year. Number one, the voice of the people is more powerful than the voice of the media. You're not going to let the media tell you who's going to be your next president. Number two, message is more important than money. Message is what's resonating with the American people. And so stay inspired. Believe that we can do this. It was back in 1999 that I discovered that I was supposed to do something bold with the rest of my life. I just didn't know what it was supposed to be. It was in 1999 that my first grandchild was born. And when I first looked into that little face, the first thought that went through my mind wasn't, what do I do to make sure she get a good education? What do I do to make sure that she has the things that she needs to grow up right and all of that? No. The first thought that went through my mind, so help me God, was what do I do to make this a better nation and a better world? That was 12 years ago. And I didn't know the answer then. And then as my life unfolded, and in 2006, diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. Stage 4 cancer, and I had to ask the surgeon, well, what is that? And she said, that's as bad as it can get. So I decided to get a second opinion. And he said, that's as bad as it gets. This is in 2006. And then when I was diagnosed, I sat down and talked to the surgeon that was going to do the surgery to remove 30% of my colon and 70% of my liver. I said, what are my chances, doc? He says, you got about a 30% chance of survival. 30% chance, that means I got a 70% chance that I'm not going to make it. He said, yes. Right then I said to the surgeon, I said, I know which group I'm going to be in. I'm going to be in that 30% group, and you're going to have another success story to talk about. And we've been talking about it for 5 years now, totally cancer-free. Believe. I believed that I could beat cancer, and I did, with my faith and the ability to take advantage of the best health care in the world. We don't have a health care problem in America. We've got a health care cost problem. And the way to fix that cost problem is we've got to start by repealing Obamacare, so it kills health care in America. It's going in the wrong direction. We're working on the wrong problem. Just like I believe that I could beat cancer, we can take this nation back. And you got to believe. Because of that, I had to do a lot of praying and soul searching. I had to do a lot of praying and said, God, I know I'm not supposed to be here. Why did you say not yet? And as things continued to unfold and unfold and unfold in my life, I knew without a shadow of a doubt that this was the journey that I was supposed to be on. And whenever I make a decision like that in my life, I don't look back. And that's why I am convinced that I'm on the right road. I know that I have the backing and the support of people like you all over this country, and that the American people, this sleeping giant called we the people, it has awakened and is not going back to sleep. Not going back to sleep. And I am also inspired by the words of one of our greatest presidents, Ronald Reagan. President Reagan used to describe this nation as that shining city on a hill, because all of the rest of the world looked up to America despite our challenges. And in the last 3 years, that shining city on a hill has slid down to the side of the hillside because of the weakening of our economy, the weakening of our military, and the weakening of the respect that we had in the world. And my pledge to you, if you give me the privilege of getting the Republican nomination and going on to become President of the United States of America, together we will put united back in the United States of America. We will move that shining city on a hill back to the top of the hill where it belongs. And I will never apologize for the greatness of the United States of America. Thank you very much.